Morning everybody, welcome to Stockradar Stocks on the Move for another week. My name is Richard Lee and I made the stockradar.com.au website for you. Today's date is the 16th of February 2023. Okay, so the market's been flopped about a bit the last couple of weeks. We've rode up into those highs pretty hard, but we had a bit of a shake and a shut up the top there. We're getting some mixed reactions on the profits reporting season. We're getting some great results, we're getting some shockers. Some of the shockers we probably knew, but they're still being caned. So anyway, we go along, do our thing. We've got some good profits here and some of these stocks here. So first you want to go through the top 10. Top 10 this week is, okay, well, BLD at the top there's done pretty well. IEL, Promedicus is back again. Stanmore starting to make new highs again. The Lottery Corp's an interesting one. I'll have a look at that one a bit later on. TWE, a little bit of a bump yesterday, but it'll be okay. And then the other four there are all doing pretty well as well. A2M and BHP have been up there for a while. Okay, so that's the top 10 for the moment. Now, so what I'll next go into the overseas markets. So there's the top 10. Don't forget to check the trend at the Stockradar Trading Centre for all your updates and all your stocks there. And in trading tactics this week, what I mentioned at the start, does your strategy deliver and what does the best trading strategy look like? And we'll talk a little bit about that later on. Okay, so starting off, let's go to the Dow. Not a lot's happened there really. It's still up near these highs here. Just struggling here. It's gone sideways for a couple of months now. It's not resolving from the challenge yet, so we'll have to wait and see. A little bit of selling starting to appear, so that's not a bad sign if the market's holding up. So, quietly positive at the moment. There's no sign of any breakdown yet, so we hold our fire there. S&P as well is also looking a bit encouraging. It's certainly trying to reverse. Good week this week so far. Some good volume on the upside there, so they're certainly going to challenge the downtrend for the moment, and we might get some further gains yet. And Nasdaq as well, coming off a low base, Nasdaq. But it's looking a bit better. We can see some very nice volume here. A little bit of confidence back in the techies. They've come down a long way. Amazon, Google, all those sorts of stocks. So people are probably looking at those as a little bit of value at the moment. Okay, so then we go to commodities. Gold, really nothing much has happened there. It's got up into that hop range here at R1, and it's starting to find it difficult at the moment. Okay, we had some good buying which pushed this recently. Then we've had some selling up here. It's constructive from the technical side. The momentum's bullish, it's above the average, but this is providing a bit of resistance here. So, really for the gold, I'm not really all that happy about being gold. I don't think we've got any more at the moment. We might have one, but not much exposure there. Copper, it's also had a little bounce off support there, a minor bounce, not too much of a bounce, but it's encouraging. It's broken up here. It's come back and found support for the moment. Despite some heavy selling, it's still holding up, so that's a good sign for copper. And Brent crude, well, it's in a downtrend. It's rotating around this $80 level just above it. Can't seem to get its feet off the ground there. So its still trend is down. It's trying and it's close, but not there yet. So we wait there on Brent crude. Okay, ASX 200, our market. It's looking, as I said before, the last couple of weeks we've had a bit of a struggle here, but considering what we've seen over the last, since last September, it's been a pretty good move higher. So the last 6 months has been very strong, and this just may be one of these little things. We'll have to wait and see. We certainly are at a significant resistance level at the old highs there. Must be respected for sure. So, quietly confident again, a bit like the Dow. Will we get a break? We don't really know, but we'll just hold our fire and wait and see what's happened and take our stocks specifically as we do. Okay, so now I want to get into, first we'll go to stock picks. We only lost one this week, down 59 of 183, so there's 57 stocks themselves of 162 stocks and 2 ETFs of 21 ETFs covered. So still thin, but building. Portfolio update, well, the conservatives still at 7 out of 20, and all the other portfolios are full. The Energizer 10, and the two ones that I started recently, August 20, March 21, those two Energizers are also doing okay, considering we've had a pretty tough couple of years during that period there. So they're all looking okay, the portfolio. Okay, so now we'll go into a few stocks for you. I'll just try and start off with a couple of leaders at the moment, just to give you a feel what the heavyweights are doing. And this heavyweight here is certainly trying hard. CSL, its trend intensity rating is +1 at the moment. We have here what we call a trend reversal pattern. I won't take it because these highs are just too significant for me. I'd much rather be conservative and wait for this to break up above here. and that may be a strange thing, but all I'm really looking is to make a profit, and if I can get 10, 20, 30, 40 bucks out of it, well and good. If more, well and good as well. But CSL has certainly struggled up here, so I'm not going to be silly and go straight into this one at the moment. It's building here quietly, a bit of volume this last rally here. It's moved up to there. There's still a bit middling here in the volume. It is above the average. Momentum is positive, so there are positives there, but really, again, the price action is really what we need to see. And although we have a trend reversal there, the weight of this resistance just holds me back for the moment. So that's CSL, quietly encouraging. I know people are talking about it again. The report was pretty good. So, maybe it is going to do it. And again, Telstra, another one, which is a big heavyweight, which has found a lot of resistance up here. I think it's about 420, something like that. It's moving here quite well. We've got some good volume spurts along here, although it's gone a bit middling here at the moment. The momentum index is above zero, and moving averages, it's above the moving average. So Telstra, again, certainly one to watch. Waiting in the wings there, I think. Again, don't anticipate. I'll talk about that with one stock a bit later on, but it's certainly looking constructive to me, Telstra. So those two stocks are certainly worth watching, CSL and Telstra. Okay, now this is also, trading's also, I'm going to one on the stock first actually. One stock that I think is probably about to break up. I shouldn't think that. It's poised to break up. I don't know what it's going to do. But we've seen this is a big resistance level across here, about $8. We've had a big rise here. You can see all these high lows, bang, bang, bang into this resistance level. Eventually, this sort of pattern suggests it's going to break to the upside. So that's what I'm looking for. We've got some good volume starting to appear now. Momentum's got better. It's above the average. So, again, the price action will tell us, give us the ounce in the end. And a break above $8 is what we're looking for in NHF. So that's a good one to keep an eye on in NHF holdings. Okay, now I did talk a little bit about downtrodden ones in the newsletter last week. Just talk about a couple today. So when we look at these downtrodden stocks, we've got to we don't get too excited. All of a sudden we think, well, this is really cheap, so it's 50% off. So I'm going to just, I'm just going to buy this stock. And all of a sudden you see the stock has a little rocket put under it, jumps from 25 to 35, $10 in pretty short time, and all of a sudden you get very excited about everything. And inevitably, as a part of the basing process, this happens, but it takes a while for it all to happen. So often we get this next period, which is a lull period. Okay, this is constructive. We have seen it before here. It was constructive. It didn't really do much. Came back and eventually made a new low. Nothing happened there. Here we've got a rally. It looks quite good because we've got a bit more volume there. It's looking better. But now we're seeing a lull here. If it can hold above here and we get a move through R1, then that's potentially a reversal pattern. So we sort of wait for this to happen because this is all part of a bottoming process. The excitement, a little bit of lull as the buyers dry up, and then the buyers think maybe we'll get back in again, and off they go again. So if they're confident enough, they'll do it. If they're not confident enough, we'll see it back down to S1. So James Hardie, it's one we looked at as a downtrodden stock, 50% cut in the share price. Certainly worth looking at. You can buy it for your super fund on a long-term point of view if you wanted to do around here, or you can wait for a trend to emerge and follow Stockradar, and a trend hopefully will result from this turn. Anyway, we'll wait and see what happens, but it's encouraging. The other one is SGM, which is certainly worth looking at. It's also, again, a different pattern. Every stock's different, but we see the same sort of thing, this shift from the sellers to the buyers. Okay, and this is the turn point here. We see a big bit of peak volume on this period here, which often happens. So this come back to this big support level. We've got some good buying appearing here. We've seen a good rally. Okay, we're still trend intensity rating of +5, so we're not all the way there yet. Okay, so don't get too excited. Just wait patiently because it's the trend we want, not the bottom. Okay, so we're just going to wait for this to happen, see what happens, see what this low occurs here. This is a bit of a resistance level. We'll see what happens at this point. We may get more of a correction back here. We don't know. It may go straight through, and we'll take that as it comes. But for the moment, it's showing good signs that we might have seen a low down here at around $12 for Sims Group. Sims Metal, I think they're called now. Okay, so that's a couple of downtrodden stocks. Just want to talk briefly about those, about how they look, what they do. They are great opportunities because they're good stocks, they're leading stocks, and they have beautiful trends as we've seen back here. It's a matter of when we get onto it and get onto it at the right time, and the odds are in our favour. So they're the stocks we're looking at. So this one here, the perspective trend intensity provides, it tells you it's -5, so be careful. Not everything is rosy just yet. Okay. Right, now the other one I'll talk about is Ansell, which had a really bad day yesterday. So I just wanted to let you know that we do make mistakes every now and then. Not mistakes, but there are trading errors. But what we have to do is we have to control these trading errors, okay? So I've talked to you about Ansell a little bit before, because we did have this very interesting pattern here, this shift from the sellers to the buyers, sort of like a head and shoulders inverted pattern there. And we saw a break up here. All looks very encouraging. A bit of volume appears. We'll just squeeze this up, you can see it a bit better. A bit of volume appears, momentum turns positive above the average, and we get a buy signal here. So this struggled up higher and higher, didn't work higher and higher, didn't really do it too fast. Sometimes they don't. But then again, now we've got this downward move here. Now, this is where our stop loss is here, so this week. So this has got to finish below there this week, which in all likelihood it's going to do. Now, if that does happen, that means we have to get out. So our beautiful trade, which looked fantastic, all of a sudden has gone pear-shaped. So we just need to recognise that. And again, it's not about responding, predicting the future, it's about responding to price movement. And this price movement says risk is too great and you should get out. So that's what we'll do at the end of the week. So that's how we manage the positions. It's important to do these sorts of positions, keep all those losses small all the time and run the profits. And it doesn't look like we're going to run a profit here just for now. So we'll just step aside and look for the other opportunity. Okay, so that's Ansell, and we'll see that probably disappear out this week. One stock I want to talk to you about, Breville Group. I think I might have mentioned this one before. It looked like it was having a bit of a turn. I took a look at it last week. No, it wasn't last week, it was before that. But again, a beautiful reversal pattern here. We've got this reaction here, high, low, and then it starts to rally up to this point up here, the peak between the two troughs. And all of a sudden we see it come sliding on down the hill. So, you know, these patterns can look great. But you've got to make sure you get your confirmation for trend intensity and your price action. Your price action is first and foremost the most important thing. So again, patience for Breville. It may turn around, I don't know. Some of these consumer discretionary stocks have been riding an interesting ride at the moment. We've got a couple of them which have been doing really well, and a couple of them I know have struggled a bit. But some of them are coming back slowly, having that bumpy ride at the bottom. So this may well be a situation with Breville. It may hold above here. If it does, this still retains as a trend reversal point here. Okay, so that is Breville at the moment. We saw a bit of volume here. It was almost got to above zero, so the picture almost turned, but not quite. Okay, the other one I want to talk to, two other stocks I want to talk to you about is that they've done pretty well. Seven Group Holdings, always an interesting stock this one, but we've seen this market rally straight back, almost back to its highs. I don't know what it's done today. But we had a good trend reversal. We had actually had a trend reversal down here, but we didn't get trend intensity confirmation until it rose above this level here, which is about $20, $21, I think it was. Anyway, we then get a trend reversal confirmation. So then when we ran with it, it's now trend intensity rating of 10, with the volume being very exceptionally good, and momentum powerful, above the average. All the signals here have a good momentum swing higher on this one here. So let's just watch out for this high here. If this goes, then it could really blow off. If not, we might see a retracement, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But it's an exciting stock, and it's moving higher. Trend intensity rating is 10 for Seven Group Holdings, which is fantastic. I showed you briefly the Lottery Corp before in the top 10, and we can see what's happened here. It's one of these stocks I've talked about in the newsletter, a bit about some of these new listings and spin-offs, how they go through this uncertain phase of up and down trading after listing, but eventually when they get back on their bikes, if they're a good quality stock, a bit of yield, all this sort of stuff, then it's encouraging to see a break higher. And in this case here, we've seen the Lottery Corp, it range traded for a bit, it came back here, the clue was here, encouraging higher support, so it didn't come trade down to the bottom of the range here, so that's encouraging. And then it stays above the average. We get a little bit of volume through here, not a lot. Momentum triggers above zero, so we get a trend intensity new high here. And then, of course, it's now running high. It's about 502, know what it is today. So it's looking interesting, an interesting stock. It's just come on board. It's a monopoly. I think it's going to yield pretty well. I think it's probably an interesting stock to ride a trend wave if there's one coming, especially after this all settles down and we've got rid of all these nasty sellers and the buyers can pave their way higher for the stock. Okay, so that's the Lottery Corp. So that's the stocks today for you. There's a few other ones that are interesting at the moment. I did talk about spin-offs and things. Endeavour's an interesting one at the moment. Also the Terra Royalties, and Orica might be another one, might be back as well. So we'll have a look at those stocks probably next week, I would think. Okay, so now I just want to talk to you briefly about the best trading strategies for everybody. So it's sometimes hard to know. We think, what did we do with this? We had this, we had that. It's really simple to build a trading strategy, one that will make money. It's just a matter of being able to follow it and direct yourself through the mire sometimes, and that's the hard part. So the best trading strategy gently guides us, manages and controls us if we let it. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, there are a couple of things I want to mention here. Doubt is probably our biggest enemy. Okay, if we have a trading strategy and we get all these boxes ticked, then why would we doubt? So if I have no reason to doubt, if I follow my strategy. But I can always find a reason to doubt outside my strategy. So I might look at my strategy and it says, yes, this is great, everything's boxes ticked. Oh, but someone said something about this. So I just won't take that trade, or I might just miss that trade. So, it's an interesting thing, but really once you start working out the benefits of following your strategy, you really will be able to not second guess yourself anymore. So you have a strategy. So why would you have a strategy if you're going to go outside it? So don't even bother. So it's important to have this strategy. So doubt is one thing we want to sweep aside. The other one, of course, is managing risk. I talked about this with the Ansel chart just before. It's always important to me that if I'm wrong, or if a price tells me to do something, I know exactly what to do. And this instance is get out. Things have gone wrong. As much I'd love to say, this is great analysis, this stock is going to go high, it looks fantastic, but then I kind of got to admit I'm wrong. Well, the ego has to go pushed aside, and you just have to do what you're told. And that means get out sometimes. So if you don't take big losses, you won't take big losses. So if you don't let yourself take big losses, you won't take them. So that's just a rule that I've learned over the years. Okay, so managing risk is our biggest job, really. Okay, staying in the game, making sure we've got our capital intact, things like that. And that means saying no when you actually want to say yes. It's a difficult thing, but sometimes you must. Okay, so if you can't do that, you need to be able to try and find ways that you can do that, because you really need to follow those things and manage your risk. Absolutely. So we all know what to do with these things, doubt and manage risk and discipline, all these different things. So we all know what to do, but this is about understanding the need to find techniques to help us get to that place. So if we can't get there, we need to find ways that can help us get there. Sometimes it's somebody that you're accountable to. There can be all sorts of different ways that you can do it. I'll try and help you through the site, try and guide you, help you understand what you need to do that sort of thing, because we all need a little help at some stage in trying to do this. It's not easy, I know. Okay, so the best trading strategy guides us, manages and controls us. Remember, the market climbs a wall of worry, and that's what we say, climbs a wall of worry. So there are always worries out there. So you can worry if you like, but that's outside the plan. My plan does not have worry built into it. There's no worry factor, no worry meter or anything like that. So go away, push the worries aside and focus on actually what your trade plan says, because we all know that's the best thing to do. Okay, so the best strategy is a strategy that works and achieves your objectives. Remember, I talk about expectations. Expectations are something that are really important to be realistic in what you can expect from a trade, whether it's a win or a loss, or your portfolio returns over time. So it's been a very difficult the last couple of years, but things will change as they always do. So a strategy that works and achieves your objectives, that's what it is, and that should make you happy. It manages risk, it manages profits, and it casts doubts aside. Managing profits is also a very important part of making sure when you've got profits that you lock them in and take them. That's another part of what I try and do to let people know what they've got to do. Maximise those profits, minimise those losses. That's the name of the game. So then you can close that profit gap that we talked about last week about you see your system generating these returns, but you're only generating these returns. Why? Well, you have to ask the question, where are you going wrong? And there'll be plenty of spots you might be going wrong at. So close that gap, that profit gap, and hopefully you'll be able to achieve the returns that you want to achieve. So only you have the power. Move ahead confidently, forcefully, sensibly, and enjoy the ride. Fairly simple approach. Okay. So what we do is we offer education, understanding, ways, means and techniques, live examples of portfolios, all designed to guide you through the mire and shortcut your learning curve to success and profit. So that's an awful lot to say there, but really is try to step back, keep things as simple as you can, and you keep your focus, and things will unfold okay. Just don't get too complicated, don't get too over smart, things like that, and you can generate some good money, because stock market's an easy place to generate money if you know how to do that. Okay, so that's about all I've got for you today. The best trading strategy is one that achieves its objectives and gives us what we want within realistic expectations. Okay, So good luck, stay safe, watch your trends, hedge your stops, give me a call if you want to chat, and I'll see you all again next week and hopefully have some more insights for you. Okay, thanks a lot.